Okay, so today is 20th of July 2015, Monday, the first day of the week. Let's first take a look at the economic calendar. Today has been a quiet day. Nothing of much important news has been out. One thing I noticed was the Canadian news of wholesale sales is negative. It's usually bad for the currency. But I remember dollar Canadian didn't move up much, neither did Euro Canadian or Pound Canadian. It's bank holiday in Japan. Tomorrow looks like a quiet day as well. Today in the news there were two important interesting news. It revolved around gold and Kiwi dollar. So if you look in the news for today, you see, for example, gold ETF suffered biggest outflow in 2 years. Gold tumbles on strong US dollar. Gold bug squashed by aggressive selling. It sunk to 5-year low. And I took a look at the gold price chart for the last 20 years. So now it's trading at $1,100 per ounce. It seems to have been on a long uptrend from 1999 to a peak in July 2011 of around 1,800 plus per ounce from a low of around 250 approximately dollars per ounce. This has been a huge uptrend. In the chart, when I looked at the gold, I saw something very interesting. That it seems to have fallen down very sharply today. On Friday it took out the low of the previous support from the March mid support, and then today on Monday it's a very sharp fall and consolidating around the 1100 mark. And about the Kiwi dollar, there was some interesting news. For example, Kiwi dollar rises from the flames. Looks like the Prime Minister made some comment today. Apparently he himself was a former investment banker and foreign exchange trader, and he referred to 0.65 as the Goldilocks level. I found out about this term only today. Looks like it means a level which is neither too high nor too low. So if you look at Kiwi dollar, it's trading at 0.65 approximately now. And I think so even the New Zealand newspapers are reporting the same news, which is obvious. But other thing that I wanted to point out was, it looks like in the rate announcement coming up on Wednesday, I think it's going to be reduced by 0.25%, but some people seems to be saying they may even reduce by 0.50%. So all economists in Reuters poll blah blah blah, so they expect only 5 basis points cut, but some say maybe it may even be cut by 50 basis points. And looks like that's all the important news from today. Today has been a quiet day. Now let's take a look at the charts one by one, even though there hasn't been much movement today. Euro dollar is stagnating around here, but what I wanted to show you was the chart from the previous week. Look, so Euro dollar fell down sharply last week, and it could fall down further this week. Pound dollar seems to be stagnating around the moving averages, converging. So it's not diverging, that's the point to note. So when moving averages diverge, so we should be careful around this situation. So last week it bounced upside from 20 EMA, so this week it could bounce upside again towards the 200 EMA. Dollar yen hasn't been moving up much either, but last week you see it has bounced up from 20 EMA, so it could further bounce up. Dollar Canadian, it seems to be losing its upward momentum, so I think we should be wary of a correction on the downside. Last week was a strong up movement. Aussie dollar didn't move much today, so Aussie seems to be the currency which wants to consolidate around a certain region. Last week there's a small downward movement, but in the monthly, this month has taken out the low from the previous consolidation in the monthly chart, so I think Aussie dollar has more room to fall. And with the US rate rise in the horizon, I think being on the short side is a good idea. We have seen Kiwi, so this is what they were referring to when they said the Kiwi bounced up from the, it was an interesting phrase, let's take a look at it again. Kiwi dollar rises from the flames. So it bounced up, so I think inflection point would be on Wednesday, Thursday, whether it goes up. I think the probability of falling down, I think, is higher. After the massive fall from last week, some correction is of course due. The crosses pairs Euro Yen is stagnating around there. I think this will mainly depend on the movement of Euro Dollar. So there's still, so last week it was a down movement, so I think it may try to reach 200 EMA. But in the monthly it's stagnating around 5 and 20, so it could be here for some time. And pound yen didn't move up much, so this means the uptrend is almost over. Not over, but this is a good time to take out profits. As I remember from reading the reminiscence of a stock operator, so he says that he kind of feels when the market is about, or when the market is consolidating and it's about to take profit. So this may be a good time for someone who went long around here to take out his profits. Last week was an up bar, buyer's bar. Euro Canadian is stagnating, so I don't think there's anything much to be said about this pair. Pound Canadian seems to be consolidating, I think, so there may be some correction due, I think, from last week massive up movement. Euro Aussie, I think there it may fall down further, but for this to fall down, Euro has to fall down and Aussie has to go up. Now, so it will be interesting to watch how the next few days or this week pans out. In the weekly, the previous week closed almost at the open of the previous week, so I think this may correct down to at least around this area. Pound Aussie, there was some consolidation, so it seems to be a very strong, sturdy, not so much strong, but a sturdy uptrend. There's no massive swings up or down, but seems to be on a steady uptrend, Pound Aussie. And the indices, I didn't see much of a movement, but still let's take a quick look. So this is the Nikkei. It seems to be again on an uptrend. Now we need to watch if it takes out the previous high of 21,000. I think then dollar yen will move upside as well. S&P 500 is definitely not going down or on a downtrend. It's definitely up. I saw a news article somewhere that some guys were predicting that S&P 500 would go down very soon. So I think they would be wrong now. So this would be another point to watch. It breaks out, takes out the top. But see, it's still on an uptrend kind of. And the US dollar was also on an uptrend. So as long as the economic policies remain like this, for example, Fed rate hike in the horizon, I think this will appreciate. US dollar, I saw it came down to $50. US oil, I mean, which is the crude, at $50 a barrel, and crude was at 56, I think. Yep. The crude being at 50, I think may stay there for a while. I think it may stabilize around that region for a while. And gold, we show earlier a massive fall. And that's it. Tomorrow looks like another quiet day, but I think we always see some interesting movements like today. Gold, going back last week, we didn't really expect there to be a massive fall in the gold, but anyways,